It's based off of calories, which broken into smaller macronutrients is going to be proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So we're going to just show you real quick how we figure those out so you guys can understand where that's coming from. And then we'll get down into how to enter those foods. Everybody in this room has different macros from what we did. We have different percentages of protein, fats, carbohydrates. Some of you guys are on keto, some of you guys are intermittent fasting, some are like Donovan vegan. So everybody has different stuff. So here's the deal, and this is our speech with diets. Every day it works. There's no magical diet out there. You see hundreds of diets. Get on keto, go do this. One thing that all those diets have in common is they're calorie restricted. So we don't care what you do as long as we can control what your calories, your input is, and your output is. We have to find your metabolism really quick, and we have to put you in a deficit so that we can get you to lose body fat percent. So everybody's going to be on different pages right here. So I'm going to use Kathleen's InBody as an example right here so I can show you guys. So this is her body that she took today. So looking down here, what she did today is she had 24% body fat right here. This is her skeletal muscle mass, is 64 pounds of skeletal muscle mass and her weight. So we take these numbers and we plug it into our formula. And with that formula, it generates macros for us. So what we do is we start looking at her basal metabolic rate, which is going to be right there. It's at 1500. So what this is, it's a good predictor of how many calories you burn at rest. This is, at rest means if you laid in bed all day and you were sick, she's still going to burn 1500 calories. That's for brain and organ function. Off of that, we will predict how active she is with her job. And we're also going to predict how much she burns in her workouts. Then we create a deficit off of that. Now, this isn't 100% based off of that's where your metabolism is. There's a lot of cofactors that go into that, like your diet, that's jacked up, that's going to be your metabolism. So this is just kind of a good indicator of where she's going to be. Now with this challenge, we set it the calories a little bit lower so that we can put her in a pretty big deficit so that you guys can lose body fat, most relative body fat percent for this. So coming up here with her lean body mass, that's our number one marker. So what we do is we try to establish how many calories she eats. So then right here, everybody's lean body mass will be on their InBody. You can see hers is 115, so we know that right off the bat she needs at least 115 grams of protein. So that's going to be where we start to set her stuff. So when I set up her macronutrients, you guys can see from her protein right here, it's 120 grams. You have to have a higher amount of protein when you go into a calorie deficit so that we're not wasting muscle mass. So your body is very effective at, well, when you're in a deficit, everything losing, but it's easier to burn protein and muscle mass than it is fat. So the reason for that is because 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. With fat, 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. So your body is very efficient. It's going to take from its protein sources before it takes from its fat sources, so it's harder to do. So we always have to set that protein high. I know you guys always say, oh, it's so much protein, but you have to keep your lean mass. Your lean mass is going to be the predictor of your basal metabolic rate. The higher, more muscle that you have, the higher, how many more calories you're going to burn in that whole day. So it's going to have a higher basal metabolic rate. Your body does not like to keep muscle on. So that's how we set those ones. Off of that, we go into fat. The fat is going to have to be set above 25%. So what fat is really good for is hormone function. If you dropped your fat to nothing and you just ate carbohydrates and protein, you would basically kill your thyroid and your metabolism would be shot, which is something that they do in the fitness industry a lot with doing shows and stuff like that. You always hear about people doing shows, doing these super calorie restrictive diets. They come out, they're losing their hair and their metabolism is shot for the next couple of years. That's something that's extreme that will get you to lose weight. So we always set that higher than 25%. Then we look at carb intake. We always ask you guys where you guys have done diets in the past. If you guys feel like you do okay with carbs, if you don't do good with carbohydrates. There's good research that shows that having lower carbohydrate, better cognition. So there's certain things that work better with you, decreases in inflammation, but it's all comes down to your just a big chemistry set. So if you're a carb burner versus a fat burner, so that's where like the difference between like the keto comes in, where you have low carbs, you run off of ketones, and then you actually start to metabolize through your fat. That's the whole basis of the keto diet as well. Then paleo kind of goes into that too as well, Atkins. And then we have the opposite extreme where they keep fats a little bit lower, carbohydrates high. The basic thing is we have to figure out what works for you guys. Like I said, you guys are going to be, if I can share your info with Julie, she does the lower carbohydrates, and that's how you and your family live your life. You guys like to do the keto. It works great for them. We've had clients try to do keto, they have headaches, they feel awful, they have no energy. Their body will not switch over to those ketones, and they can't produce that fat burning ability, so they always feel better on the higher carbohydrates. So everybody's completely different with their metabolism. With genetics, you guys have different insulin factors too as well, which is going to help you handle those carbohydrates. Okay, so one diet is not going to work best for the next person, vice versa. So that's how, just kind of give you a little brief overview. That's how we set your guys' macros. Now, we had a good question earlier that if this doesn't match on your macros, because this has, we set it down here at what we think your activity level is, we kind of bypass that with these numbers based off of what your basal metabolic rate is. Now, we've not always had that machine that will tell us your basal metabolic rate, so with this, we would always predict it off of exercise. Now that we have what your basal metabolic rate is, the prediction of it, we get a little bit closer to those calories based off of that instead of the activity level. So it just gets it a little bit more accurate. Okay, so what you're gonna do for this challenge is these macros, what's highlighted in the blue is what you guys are gonna follow every day, working out or not working out. Okay, so don't worry about this template is set up for if we wanted to do carb cycling, which we're not gonna do for this challenge. You guys are just gonna be doing the same macros every day. We have that 3-week weigh-in that you guys can come in and we can see what your body actually did on the inner body and we can adjust those macros. So don't follow any of these other days with the rest or the intensity. Those I did not set up, so they're completely wacky numbers. You're just gonna follow what's in the blue. Okay. So there's a couple things with the blue. If you have the higher carbs and you're on a rest day, still eat them because your body will replenish what you just did for the week. Okay, so those will work towards your advantage. So everybody remember that. Now what we use for this challenge is we use the app MyFitnessPal. So if you haven't downloaded that, go ahead and download that. So you want to do MyFitnessPal, create a profile. It doesn't matter what you enter into that profile because we're going to change your macros.
It's an app?
It is an app. Let me log into mine real quick. Can everybody see this okay?
No. No, it's this. He's this.
Okay, so this is actually what it looks like online right here. So this is where I adjusted my calories. You guys can see that from us doing the 6-week challenge with you guys. But what we're gonna do is we'll use Kathleen's numbers. Okay, so she has total 1,600 calories for the day. She has to have 120 grams of protein. Her fat intake needs to be 64, and then her carb intake is gonna be 140. Okay, so we're gonna enter in some foods. Now you're gonna see it's different right here from what my daily goals are, but we're gonna use her daily goals. Actually, we'll grab a pen and write those down so you can see. Does everybody have this app?
No. So then that's the new. So that's nutrition.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, it's gonna be a lot faster if I enter these through the app. The app is a lot easier and I can pull this up in just a minute and show you guys what that app looks like as far as on the cell phone, because it's a little bit different. Let me see if I can switch that over and then we'll come back over to this one. Here we go. So this is the actual app right here on the phone. So you guys can watch how I do this. So, Kathleen, what do you eat for breakfast?
What did I eat for breakfast?
What does a normal breakfast look like for you?
Well, I'll tell you what I had today.
What'd you have today?
I had the Starbucks, bacon, egg, cheese, whatever, egg bites, 300 calories. It's in there. So it's the sous vide egg bites.
So we egg bites right there. So what I just did is I just searched for that, and it's gonna pop up right there. So you had 2 pieces, or how many? Did you
Yeah,
have?
it comes with 2.
Okay, so you said it was 300 calories. So we looked for that one that said it's about the 300 calories right there. We're
It's the
gonna-
bacon with the cheese, that's why.
The bacon and the cheese. That's good. Okay, so I just entered that in right there. For the breakfast, what else did you have?
Coffee with cream, no sugar,
Okay. What kind of cream was it?
half and half.
So we're gonna put in the half and half. Okay, we're just guesstimating right now. I'll show you guys how we'll go back and change some of these things. So I just entered those 2 things in. If I want to go ahead and go to this. We want to keep it on this nutrient part right here. If you guys keep it on the macro part, it shows you your percentages that we set for you. This is going to be very confusing. So you can see that what she already ate, it says it's 62% fat. That's because that just does it per meal. Okay, so don't look at this, because you'll look at your macros, you'll see the splits that we set for you, and it's going to be real confusing. People are going to stop eating at that point. So don't ever use this screen right here. You should be able to look at the end of your day and see the splits that we provided on that sheet for you. So, but other than that, don't use it. You guys want to use this nutrient page right here. So for entering in her half and half, and then doing her egg white bites. So there's the protein content. The total that she's already had is 19. Carbohydrates is 9. And then her fat is at 21. So that's a high fat right there. Okay, so everybody see how that went in there? So this is the part that you want to once you put in your calories, it's going to have your specific goals, the total, and what you have left to hit your macros. Okay, so what we're going to do is, what would lunch be?
I don't have any idea. I haven't thought about it.
We're going to make up some stuff now.
Tell me what to eat for lunch and I'll do it.
We're going to go through some stuff that I already have. We're going to give you 4 ounces of chicken. Okay, you guys, there's a scanner option on this too as well. So when you guys are entering foods, I'll just put in chicken that I already had. So when you go and click here, these ones right here are all the things that I eat mostly right here. So it saves all these. So if you eat the same kind of foods, it's going to enter it in, so it's super easy right there. Okay. You guys can see, like right there, I have Chipotle. I can just click on that and put that into my macros. Okay, so we just put chicken in there. Let's put some rice. That is 0.8 of a cup of rice. That's white rice. Now, also with these right here, you guys can see at the top right corner, it's got that little scanner option. You guys want to make sure that you're scanning your food. So if you click on that little scan button, you can scan any kind of barcode. That's an easy way to enter into your macros. Okay, so let's go back and look. So we're at, for her protein that we need to hit, we're going to do 120 grams of protein. Right now we're at almost 50. Her carbohydrates are at 40. She needs 140. And her fat is at 64, so we've got a lot of food to enter in here. So,
How did you get to that screen?
which one?
That one, the nutrition
The nutrition?
Yeah.
So you would click on where it says nutrients remaining, the 99 carbs, 26, and 120. If you click on that now, it's depending on if you guys have an iPhone or if you guys have a Droid. But if you just click on those at the very top, it brings up that page. So right in that section where it says nutrients remaining, you click on that screen and it'll take you right to the nutrient page.
Yep.
Do you have an iPhone or Droid?
iPhone.
Miss out.
I know that's what I'm
Let's see.
You gotta keep that screen.
I mean, for you to see now.
Okay, so let's say later she's gonna I have a protein bar and my macros already. I'm gonna plug that guy in.
But
We have some dinner. Let's put.
yeah. Yeah.
So you guys can see I just looked at my shrimp. It was set for 8 ounces. I'm gonna adjust that. We're just gonna put a bunch of random stuff in so that we get close to her macros. Okay, so going back to that screen, we're gonna see how close we are here. So her protein, the protein is at 130. We needed to be at 120, so we can adjust that. Her carbohydrates with what I put in, she needs to have almost double. She's supposed to be at 140, and her fat's 33. So we need to go back to that page. We need to enter in some more stuff.
You're in the diary, right, Steve?
Where are you?
Yep, I'm in the diary. So it's where you guys are doing all your. That's where. So once you click on it, you guys are doing the diary with all the food that you guys are entering in for that day. So right now, don't worry about it if you guys can't see it. I'm just entering a bunch of random food, and I'll show you guys how we're gonna go and change all that stuff.
But how did you get it to break down, like in the diary?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
where did you find that? Graph.
You know how
one on the very top.
no, like go down where it breaks it down.
Where you just were a minute ago where the bars were going across.
Yeah. There.
That one.
What
Okay,
was that?
so let me go back. That was the question we just had. See where it says nutrients remaining at the top?
Uh-huh.
Click on that square,
Oh.
and that'll bring you over. So that'll bring you over. If it's not set at the nutrient, it might be either at the calorie,
Yeah,
nutrient,
that's.
or macro. So you're gonna click
Oh,
on
I
the middle
see.
where it says
Okay.
nutrients.
There it is.
So
That's
you
the
want
one
to
you wanna
see the
keep it on.
nutrients, not the graph?
You want to keep it on the nutrients.
Okay.
Don't keep it anywhere else because it's very confusing.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm set there, so you can see we got a little bit high protein. Our carbs are a little bit better. Our fat, we still need to add some to it. So let's go add some more stuff to our food. We're gonna add some avocado.
No, I just woke up late and I. Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. We'll go back and look at what I entered into all this stuff. So there's her protein, it's 143 grams. Carbohydrate is 174. Her fat content is 62. So to go back, because I took it off the screen, so we're just going to remind you guys what we're trying to set for her. She is at 1642. Her protein, fat, and carbs. Her protein needs to be at 120. Her fat needs to be at 64 grams. And then her carbohydrates are going to be at 140 right here. Okay, so you can see that there are some of these things we're a little bit over on. So if you're over at a day like this where you're over some of the things, you just go back and you're going to change up some serving sizes. So if we wanted to go look, her chicken's at 4 ounces, her avocado, we're good on our fats, so we don't need to change our fats. And you can see by clicking on it what has the most content as 9 carbohydrates, avocado does, but then it also has 13 grams of fat. So let's go look at that shrimp. We need to bring down some of that protein. So if we went and dropped that down, let's just drop it to see what it does. We're going to keep it right at that 4 ounces. We're going to check that. We'll go back and look at it. It brings it down to 131, so we're getting a little bit closer there. So we'll go back down here. We'll go scroll through to see what else she has. So there's her protein bar. If we wanted to drop this protein shake down, what we can do is we can do like a half of a protein shake. We'll just see where that hits us. So we're close. We're at 119, which is pretty dead on from that 120 right there. So now we're going to look at her carbohydrates are over. She's supposed to be at 170. She's at 172. She's supposed to be at 140. So now we know we got to go look for something that's going to have about 30 grams of those carbohydrates. So we'll go back and see what has all the carbohydrates in it. This sweet potato, we can drop this guy down. We'll go back and we'll look. She's at 116 protein, which is pretty close here. She's at 60 fats, which is pretty close here. Her carbohydrates is at 145. If you start looking at that, that's going to all equal out right there. Okay, so that's what we just did with that is you're going to try to enter in the foods that you guys already eat or you like. Now this list right here, which I'm going to just cover in a second, is going to be, this is going to be the most bang for your buck foods right here. It's also going to show you that not all macronutrients are created equal. Okay, so you had it, with that it becomes like a puzzle. So so Kathleen, if you followed all this that I just set up for your whole day right there, you would hit your macronutrients. Okay, so that would be for a snack, you'd have a protein bar, you would have 1 scoop of protein shake, you would have, for dinner, you would have almonds, you would have shrimp, and you would have sweet potato. If you did lunch, you would have your white rice, you have, hold on, you could have 1 3/4 cups of that rice, you have those egg white breakfasts, you have 4 ounces of chicken for your lunch and avocados. Okay, so that's just one example of that. Those might be the foods that she likes to eat. She just has to tweak them so that she can hit them into her macros. Okay, so what you guys want to do with this, if you guys are new to tracking, you want to set, you guys already have all your numbers set into your MyFitnessPal. So you want to go plug in all the food that you guys eat. Look at your day, see how it compares. Start changing serving sizes. Start taking things out, start adding things. Okay, so let's go. Mark, question.
So like I got, went to Amazon and got the 150 rectangular make your own meal stuff. Do you use a scale to make your own stuff or not really?
Okay, so if you want to get close to your macros, like if for during this challenge, I would suggest using a scale. Well, if you're not, I'm not even good at it, I've been doing this for a long time, eyeballing certain foods at different ounces, you're always going to be off.
Yeah.
So I always use a scale for that. You always want to make sure you guys weigh your food out after it's cooked. Don't do it before, then cook it, because it's going to be a different measurement.
Yeah.
But that's where this sheet comes in, where you start eyeballing stuff. So if you guys had like a serving of, look at the beef part of it where it says the 90-10. If you guys had a 4 ounces, and then let's go look at the salmon. So then you had 4 ounces of salmon. There's a big difference in nutrients. So the salmon has 22 grams of protein, but it has 12 grams of fat. And then let's look at that. We'll look at the leaner beef. 4 ounces of the beef is 30 with 11. So ground beef is going to be a lot smaller than actual like a patty of salmon. It's going to be real hard to get the difference on 4 ounces of those guys if you're going to look at it. So I would always weigh it because you're either going to be way over or you're going to be way under. When you look at different kind of meats like that, like it's hard to say. You might get good with chicken breast because you're like, you can look at it and say that that's a 4 ounce piece, but how do you know what 4 ounces of shrimp looks like? You know, it's just, is it one shrimp? Is it the jumbo shrimp? Is it not the shrimp? Like, how are you going to guesstimate that? So it's always better just to weigh that so that you know where it's at.
What do you recommend for alcohol?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do alcohol right now.
No, like seriously, well, like what do you recommend? I know
No,
like
seriously, I'm not
wine.
going to do it right now.
Okay.
Who called it? I said the number one question, the first question was going to be about alcohol. What
Well,
you're going to do about alcohol is you're not going to drink alcohol. That's what you're going to do.
What
We
you
can
say?
talk about that in a minute.
We're not gonna drink it.
Huh? Don't drink it. That's what my recommendation is. Okay, so with this right here, you guys want to get into another thing that's going to be real tough with these macros is you don't want to get into the mindset. So when you think, okay, I need higher amounts of protein, then you're just going to think meat. Okay? So then you'll say, okay, well, I'm just going to throw like, I'm just going to have a big steak because I need meat. Well, if you have a big ribeye steak, you're going to have a lot of fats with it too as well. And then if you don't plan that accordingly to your macros, you're going to be over on your fats. So you guys need to make a baseline meal plan, just like we did with Kathleen's stuff, that if she followed that to a T, that's her meal plan right there. Let's put that back up. So if she wanted to, she could use this as her base meal plan, and then she can kind of sub stuff in and out throughout the week. So you guys want to be, if you want to be successful with this, meal plan some stuff for your week. Have baseline foods, kind of know what you're going to do. If you follow this the whole time for that 6 weeks, it's going to be super boring. So you guys want to substitute stuff out. So you might say like, oh, I can make this for a week. This will be easy. I don't have to think about it. Then the next week, you want to switch out your meats. You want to do, instead of sweet potatoes, you want to choose from a different carbohydrate on this. Instead of having shrimp, you guys want to do salmon. Instead of having chicken, you guys want to do a ground beef or a ground turkey. That's going to be your next plan for the next week. Okay, so when you guys get into those sticky situations where you're not tracking and you're just eating food and then you're trying to track, then it's a hard puzzle because you're gonna go out there and you're gonna eat foods, you're gonna be way off on your macros, fats are gonna be high, carbohydrates might be high, when everybody out there is gonna be low protein. They don't like putting protein in the food out there. So if you go get like a sandwich, you're gonna have like 2 ounces, it's not gonna be like 4 ounces in a chicken sandwich. Okay.
Do you suggest any type of protein powder, any brand? It doesn't matter.
We don't have a specific one. What I do suggest is if you have one that you're using, rotate off of it. So you guys can create food. It's almost like a food allergy. You can be intolerable to food, and that's just from eating the same food all the time. So if you've eaten eggs every day for the last 4 years, your body's not going to be responsive to that. Switch off of that. So same with the protein. If you have a protein, switch off of the protein. There's different kind of proteins for different kind of things. So if you're looking for something at night, it's better to have like a casein protein, a slow acting. If you're looking for something to just help stabilize you, you might go for a whey if you wanted an isolate. And it also depends on if you guys are lactose intolerant. So different kind of proteins for different kind of things. So we can get a little bit more specific with it. I do like